Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Michelle, also known as Mickey, and this is Live Life Whimsically. So I started last week, and I have got to apologize again for falling off the wagon with the tarot thing. I hope to be getting back to that soon. I got like some technical difficulties going on with that with my personal life, so that's what's happening. But I had gotten called out by the nonsense channel for saying that she was acting or I was acting like a child and saying that she was a mean girl. And I kind of stick by that only for a couple of reasons, which I have posted this week about, making fun of the way people look. I don't mind the whole critiquing a channel. And please, by no means should anybody go over there and mess with this woman. That's not a really nice thing to do. But from the beginning of them having this channel, the three ladies that are four, or however many there are that did it, I have tried to understand what her ginormous beef was with Molly Golightly. To me, there's plenty of reasons to have beef with her, but mostly what I've seen, I haven't really found as legitimate. I don't subscribe to her, but she has got made a way to make money for herself doing true crime, doing some questionable things when she does do the true crime, but people like her, they pay her. I don't really see an issue with it. Women got to hustle. We all got to hustle. And let's call it what it is over on the Nonsense channel. It took a minute and now she hustles and she's making money and getting help for her kids. People are asking for wish lists. They're trying to give her cash on her Cash App. More power to her. You rock, girl. Make your munty hunty. I don't have any problem with that. The thing I just never understood was how did we get to this place of all this animosity and the way she feels about Molly, and also that why no one else can have a different opinion than that. And the reason I say no one else can have a different opinion is because every time that seems to happen, she gets irritable about it. So I thought, well, let's start at the beginning. And I broke down the first video. This is the third one. I didn't do the second one because it's only a few minutes long. And I put the link in the description for you. And we'll just play this, and it'll be the first time I saw it too. And maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I won't. Maybe you all can tell me what you know and help me to understand it. I don't understand, and I really would like to know. And we're going to react to it live. And also, this is when she was doing the voice change and didn't want anybody to know who she is. She has since been identified and goes out showing herself. And there are a lot of suspicions about how she got doxxed and if she was doxxed, and did she plan that? I don't know. Whatever she did to do what she is doing now to make money, again, you got to hustle. Women, it's not made easy for us. And by the way, just so everybody knows, I'm trying to build community over here. I want this to be a safe place to talk about things, to disagree with each other, where we don't treat each other like dog crap and have all these wars on each other's pages. I'm tired of watching everybody fight. We got enough problems in our lives without arguing over ridiculous social media posts. So anyway, let's watch and listen.
Trying to do a few videos so I can attempt to get truthful, factual information to multiple areas at one time. This means I did create a YouTube channel so I can put these videos that I'm posting on Facebook also on a YouTube channel in hopes that more people see them and start asking questions. This story involves a 29-year-old Marine veteran named Marvon Jackson McCrae from Yuma, Arizona, originally from Savannah, Georgia. He was living in Yuma with his family and his current wife, Andrea McCrae. An alleged incident took place on May 23, 2022, where the police report states that Marvon attempted to unalive himself. Bear with me, this is a longer video. In this video, we will be going over the post in Justice for Vaughn where Letitia Bias says she will be answering questions. This post was put up last night. It has been up just a little over 18 hours at this point, and there's a little over 1,300 comments, and many have been deleted at this point. The issue at hand is people are concerned about where the funds that are being raised are going and how they are actually benefiting Marvon. Backing up a little bit, there has been numerous fundraisers. One started on GoFundMe.
Okay, so again, I'm just going to ask, when you donate to anybody or any charity, let's just use a huge charity, mostly, unless they fall under some kind of 501c3, they don't owe you any kind of an explanation on what they do with the money. And I don't know, in my entire life, I'm 61 years old. I have never had donated money to anybody and then asked what did they do with it afterwards. A little piece of advice from life lived as long as I've lived. If you can't live without the money that you're going to give to somebody, don't give it to them. If you're giving the money to somebody, even just like a loan, the best advice I could give you is to give the money, just hand it to somebody and not look at them and say, I would like this back. Even if they say, I'm going to pay you back, that's great, but don't expect it back. And then if they do something else with it, and say you find out later, they said, oh, I need this, for my baby's formula or for my electric bill. And then they went out and partied at the bar with your money and still got money from somebody else to pay the electric bill. Lesson learned. You either don't give again or you do because you don't need the money and it's okay, whatever. But you don't, none of these people owe anybody an explanation if they used it to get to see them, to pay bills so they could go get to see them. Whatever they did, it's none of your business. If you wanted to know what it was for, then you shouldn't have donated it. And that's my opinion.
In June of 2022.
And the voice change thing here. This was so cringe when she was doing this. What were you hiding from? I think it was, in my opinion, this was just meant to build more curiosity, to bring more people to the channel so that at a later date she could monetize. And she did. Good job. Good job. That was smart. I wish I'd have thought that up.
Shortly after the family found out about the incident, there has also been numerous pleas daily since the family found out for Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, and 2 different families involved.
And dude, seriously, you and the money memes and all the little emojis and animations that you put in here, holy cow, dude. I don't know what you were trying to achieve with that, but it's a little much. And you talk about other people acting like children. Come on now.
Bio father, stepmother, bio mother, stepfather, and siblings. You can read the comments on the post and the questions that she has answered and the answers to those questions in regards to his condition and also Raza. According to streamers on YouTube, nobody should be asking any questions whatsoever. However, that YouTuber herself claimed that she wanted transparency and would see the receipts and so on and so forth herself, which now she is telling people to stop asking questions. It's none of their business. However, they have asked people to donate thousands.
See, but how do you know that the family didn't share the receipts with them? With this person who you didn't name, and I'm just going to guess who it is. But how do you know the family said, okay, I'm going to show it to you so you know that, because this person probably was who I think it is, facilitated some of the fundraising and said, I'm going to show you what I did with the money, but please don't share this with anybody else. And then she didn't. You don't know. If you do know, then, maybe say something and show the receipts for that. But it could very well have been that the person asked her not to, whoever was showing the receipts, Miss Letitia, Marvon Sr., maybe they didn't want her to share, and so she didn't. I don't understand why you think, and first and foremost, as just another YouTube creator who jumped into the story to shed light and be transparent with your fake voice and no face that you're trying to shed light. What makes you, why should anybody tell you? You're just like everybody else at this point. You deserve nothing.
Thousands of dollars at this point to this family, and no court filings on behalf of Marvon and his well being have been filed in any Arizona courts as of July 26, 2022. I should also mention.
Well, the dude was still sick and in the hospital, and the family was probably still reeling. I mean, just think about how fast time flies when there's a crisis, especially a medical crisis in a family. And the days just seem to fly by, and you're wondering, is this person going to survive or not? The last thing you're thinking about is lawsuits and filing any kind of a thing with an attorney. There were things that happened in my life with family members, my mother in particular, that had issues with a broken hip and a surgery where she ultimately died in 6 days. And it took me to, like, I don't know, she died in July, and I wasn't thinking about it till Halloween and Thanksgiving. Should I file some kind of a lawsuit over how she died? You're not thinking about that when your family member is in crisis. Come on now.
At this point in time, that Taraz, aka Raza, is the biologic son of Andrea and Marvon McCray. He is the youngest of the 3 children and the only biologic child of Marvon's. Andrea McCray is the mother of 3 children in total, 2 children from a previous marriage. Her ex-husband is.
And you talk about people shouldn't go real life, and listen to all the real life information you are giving out on this family. Listen to it. So far we know who her son is. We know who Marvon's family is. We know what his wife's name is, and I'm sure you're going to tell us more now, right?
Is currently working through the court system. They have a hearing coming up August 3rd, 2022, in regards to custody of the older 2 children. But Taraz, Marvon's only biologic son, is still in the custody of Andrea at this point, and no filings that we know of have been in place on his behalf.
Even the stepkids, man, you sold out that there was a custody hearing going on for them. So how much real life is that?
However, it was previously stated when the biologic father of the girls filed for temporary custody of the girls and an injunction with the court that a streamer on YouTube again alleged that Raza would not be left out, that Raza was basically included in this. That is not possible. However, CPS, their cases are always closed. There's no information that you can gain on that because there is minors. So, yeah. You can see in the comments that she's answering.
No, we can't see in the comments unless we actually stop your video and look at it all the time. And again, you're just selling out the kids. The kids are going to have to live with this video for the rest of their lives because you decided to pull their family into the middle of all of this. Or you did it too, in my opinion.
That she alleges that she is attempting to get.
Just, you have to stop to read them, you can't even read them. She's not even saying what the people are saying, praying for you and your family every day. You're not alone. Never explain your life to anyone. It's none of their business. I agree with all of that. Folks should be praying for you guys, and Vaughn, not worrying about your past. Open your eyes, Vaughn, be blessed. How are the kids, especially the sweet little boy? Is he doing okay? He's still with Dre, praying for you and your family. These don't sound like people that are like begging for money.
Some sort of custody of Raza to take him back to Georgia, and also Marvon. At this point in time, Letitia Baez.
Dude, look how fast she scrolls so you can't even see. You can't even see. First and foremost, how are y'all doing? Everything is personal and should be kept private. No one has a right to know your personal business. It's all of this. It just seems to be happening all along. And it's you, nonsense, Becky, the Contessas, that are asking for this transparency so far.
Yes, which is the biologic mother of Marvon,
I only care about Vaughn's prognosis. Your past is your past. Some people don't understand that.
has no legal standing in regards to Raza because Marvon himself was adopted as a child by his great grandmother and his birth certificate was changed. So, therefore, it throws another wrench into the legalities of this as she would not be a next of kin for Raza.
What?
Also, I should mention, with there being an active CPS investigation, their past criminal history on all parties.
So now you're going to talk about their criminal history too, more real life stuff and stuff. When you're 15, 16 years old and you do really dumb things, do you want those things, thrown out in your face? I mean, there's a reason why your records when you're a minor are sealed. Because hopefully by the time you're 18, you're not pulling the stupid crap anymore, but we all know we do, right? But you're just gonna talk about this, right? Because what 15, 16-year-olds don't deserve any grace once they become 40, 50-year-old adults. We should have our past pulled up in front of us. God only hopes that you don't have anything in yours and nobody figures out what yours is and throws it all over the place and talks about whether or not you are deserving of your children or your sister's children or whoever they are that you're taking care of out there. It's just disgusting to me that you want to throw this woman's past up into her face, something she's probably worked very hard to change herself over the years, and you're just going to throw this at her at a time when there's a crisis in her family. Her freaking son is in a hospital bed, may or may not be alive, may or may not be ever waking up from what has happened. And this is the road you go down.
Every single person that is considered for placement, if that was needed, would be investigated thoroughly. And as of the information that I have researched and found on my own, as it stands, there would be issues finding placement for Taras.
So you work for CPS? You're an attorney? What makes you think that? I have an arrest record, and guess what? I got custody of my son when I divorced his father, and he had more money than me, and he sued the heck out of me, and he tried to take my kid from me, and I won, not him. And I had an arrest record, not him. So please take many seats.
All the proper authorities are working on this situation and handling as they find appropriate. This is the first official update that the family has given in over a week, besides some interaction and commentary through YouTube streams and their exclusive people that are handling this story for them. I don't know what to call them besides a huge mess. Again, comments are being removed as they.
So is that the excuse for why we don't see anything where people are actually asking for money? Is that comments are being removed? How did you know the comments were removed? Who removed the comments? How do you know that the people who posted them didn't remove the comments? And what is that supposed to mean? Maybe it's people trying to cause trouble. Maybe people are stirring the pot. How do you know? How do you know?
Think that any questions about funds and transparency of the fundraiser goal, how much is still.
And by the way, doesn't GoFundMe oversee some of this stuff? I mean, and if people have pulled some kind of illegality, then this shouldn't have been put on Facebook or YouTube or any place. It should have been a police report filed and criminal charges be sought, not the court of YouTube and nonsense to decide whether or not these people did or didn't do the right thing with money.
Needed, what is it needed for, when
What it's needed for is none of your business.
will it be used in the event that Marvon was to pass away? What would the additional funds be used for?
None of your business.
So on and so forth. Originally, the fundraisers started on Letitia Bias's personal page with her posting her Cash App asking for help so she could see her son, Marvon, in Yuma as she would be traveling from Savannah, Georgia to Yuma to see him. However, the start of the fundraisers was July 4th on her private page. Then it moved to a GoFundMe that was stated was made by a cousin to a family member, possibly Marvon's cousin. Cannot verify relationship there. Some of the YouTubers that originally covered this story have since backed away. One of them also has asked for a refund of her donation on GoFundMe,
Because Katie Joy is an idiot.
which GoFundMe did grant. The reason for that, after investigating that myself, is if you make a donation to a fundraiser and you find out that there has been fraudulent activity, or if you have a question, you can report it to GoFundMe. They will investigate. They reach out to the beneficiary asking for proof that the funds are going to, in this case, it would have been to an attorney or travel. Miss Letitia would have needed to provide receipts of those things, and then GoFundMe would have closed the case and she would have been able to keep the money. I'm not sure what happened there. That was from GoFundMe themselves. I spoke to them directly.
My God, you're a piece of work, dude. Like, really? You spoke to GoFundMe. And I know that after the fact, that fundraiser was still up, the GoFundMe page was still there. So evidently, that didn't get, the whole page didn't get taken down. So was it just because Katie Joy was pissy and wanted her money back because she didn't get the exclusive on what was happening with Marvon? I mean, I don't know. Is that what happened? And how come you don't talk about that? And also, here's another question. Katie Joy gets drunk on her ass all the time. I know this is off topic, but you love to talk about Molly getting drunk or being drunk on YouTube. But Katie Joy is drunk on her ass, like asking people to fight with her. See, that's why it looks so strange that you seem to have this vendetta for one person but not the other. Like, what is the ulterior motive? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the video.
However, they could not give me specifics on this case. This is just their general policy. So, applying their general policy to what happened here, that would be Miss Letitia must not have been able to provide GoFundMe with enough proof in their opinion, and therefore the reversal took place.
For that one person who I suspect was Katie Joy, right? I mean, did anybody else get a refund? I don't know, but I know that the last time I looked, which was a couple of months ago, admittedly, the GoFundMe was still up.
I am not suggesting that anybody should request refunds of their donations or report these payment apps. I am just explaining the facts. According to Molly Golightly on YouTube last night, nobody needs to be asking any questions because, in her experience, this family has been kind. Again, no one is stating that these people should not be allowed to see their son. They have been able to see their son at this point in time on July 26, 2022. That has been accomplished. Both biologic parents have been to Arizona and seen Marvon. I will mention again, there is an.
So she did use the money to go see her son? So then Katie Joy shouldn't have asked for that refund? I mean, what's the deal?
Active and open investigation into this incident through Yuma PD in Yuma, Arizona. Letitia answers it in this comment thread. However, Andrea is still currently the power of attorney for Marvon and making all decisions in regards to Marvon's medical treatments. There has
Well, she's his wife. That's how it works.
been numerous allegations online that she was removed from the facility due to potentially foul play. All of that is alleged. Andrea has not been charged with any crimes at this point in time. And Tucson, where Marvon is in the hospital, does not have any open and ongoing investigation. They do not have a case in regards to the situation at this present time that they would update me on. The outpouring of love and support for this family has been wonderful since
They didn't update you because it's none of your business.
Day one. However, if you question anything, you are automatically assumed to be a hater or a troll of another YouTuber.
Hello, pot calling the kettle. You do that too. Nonsense. If anybody questions you or doesn't agree with how you talk or what you say, you're suddenly a hater and you're on Molly's side. And I have said over and over again that I don't agree with a lot of what comes out of Molly's mouth. I do not subscribe to her. I find, in my opinion, that some of the things she says are ageist, sexist, body shaming, racist in content, and I don't agree with those things. So I don't agree with everything she says, but you say those things and then you do the same exact thing if anybody comes into your thread, because I've come into your thread and asked, and you come at me for asking questions because I need to take a step back because of the stuff that I say, or I don't agree with what you do. No, dude, I've been trying to understand your whole issue since this started last summer, and I don't get it. And what you put out is clear as mud. Like this right here, the spinny messages without even any context to them. You're not even reading any of them to prove what it is that these people are asking for. You're just saying that they're all angry and asking for money. Oh, and by the way, they might have deleted the comments. Well, that's pretty convenient, don't you think?
You are not allowed to have any other opinions or questions that don't go along with the pack mentality. Please remember this.
Yep, you need to remember it too.
People who think for themselves and are critical thinkers, please do not use your brain in this situation, as you will end up where I am today, a headache and
I think that's exactly what you wanted to happen, was for people not to use their brains to follow you blindly with this provocative, you're not seeing my face, you're not hearing my voice thing, and you got exactly what you wanted. And again, no shade, a girl's got to hustle to make a living, and you figured out a really good hustle.
frustrated. All that people want to know is that the funds
In my opinion, you figured out a really good hustle.
that are being raised are going to benefit Marvon. Justice for
that's
Marvon.
my opinion,
What does that even
but
mean
it's
at this point?
showing
The
a
people
lot
that
of
started
direction that way.
Justice for Vaughn, the Facebook group, are encouraging the silence of anybody asking questions by deleting their comments, arguing with them, letting them be attacked in the comment threads instead of just shutting it down completely, letting people tell them how horrible they are for asking. And when provided with receipts that this was a
Okay, so you just flashed it up there that they're a proof of the comments. Where are they? Am I going to find them in the other videos that I'm going to have to sit through and speed up and try to figure out where those are? Or are you going to ever just do, here's a bullet point thing, here's all the stuff that I've said? I've said that these comments were taken out. Well, here's the original chat stream, so you can see where these comments were once in between this one and that one down here. You know what I mean? Like, where are they? You don't ever show any of that. You say you have it, but you never show it.
donator of a large amount, it still continued, and then they just deleted all of the comments below it. Transparency is not this. If there was complete transparency, why all of the silence and the hiding in the back-ended conversations? The Facebook group Justice for Vaughn has over 70,000 members. It grew rapidly and has been pretty chaotic. I will give the admins that. However, they have chose to help Letitia hide truths from people. I have seen
That's a pretty big accusation that this whole group of admins was helping Letitia hide information. Where's the proof of that? That's a really big thing to accuse somebody of.
comment threads and message threads with certain admins from the group that I do have possession of that they were helping hide things from certain people on behalf of Letitia. It does
Hide what kind of certain things on behalf of Letitia? Was it stuff that was none of our business, stuff that was none of anybody's business but the families? What were they hiding? These are terrible accusations.
Doesn't make sense. They've also gone to various people and asked for certain things to be said and done or removed or not talked about or not transparency on certain aspects for Letitia.
So are you saying that now they were also running around and being pot stirrers and trying to deflect from what was being deleted, and people were trying to start issues to get people to be distracted by what was happening? It could almost be said the same for you, that it seems that you try to distract people from what's really going on just so that you can stir chaos with this family. And I mean his parental side of the family, not the one with Dre.
For Letitia, does that mean for Letitia's benefit or at Letitia's discretion and request? I am not 100% sure on that. However, she is definitely benefiting from their actions.
How is she benefiting from those actions? What's happening? Where are the receipts for that? Is it just support? Is it that they're not telling personal private information that she doesn't want shared? What is it? I mean, this sounds very, clickbaity, if you ask me.
And she is also not encouraging them to stop. She is also not stopping the drama between two major YouTubers that have exploded this case into the messy shitstorm that it absolutely.
What if she just didn't understand? I didn't know who any of these people were. I was just watching anti MLM videos when I learned about Dre. And then I just started learning, doing the dive. I got down a rabbit hole with Dre and ran into all of this. What if she just didn't understand what she was getting into, especially with those two creators who I think, but I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that you're talking about Dre and, or not Dre, I'm Katie and Molly. At first they worked together and then they got mad at each other, and both of them probably because they wanted the exclusive. I don't think it was just one or the other. I think it was a battle for who the McRae family was going to speak to, Marvon Sr. and the mother Letitia, and then they chose Molly, and I think that Katie Joy got mad, and that's where the drama started. And if you have these two factions in this social media platform that you're not even really sure how it works, they're fighting with each other now. And they're calling you and trying to get you to talk to them. And you're distraught because your child has been harmed. And, and, and now you're not saying anything to stop the arguing between the two of them. Why would you even think to do that? I would just be thinking, man, I'm not even talking to either one of these crazy people. But and that's my opinion, but then that's how I would have handled it. But to try to judge what Letitia or Marvon Sr., how they behaved or what they did or didn't do to stop the stuff that was going on YouTube, we're not walking in their shoes, man. We're not walking in their shoes at all. We do not know how they felt, what they were thinking of. The last thing that I would be thinking of if my son were in that situation is people fighting that I don't know on YouTube. I would care less about that. It wouldn't occur to me that maybe it was a bad thing for my kid or for how I looked in a GoFundMe. None of it. I wouldn't care because my kid would be more important to me than this ridiculousness. Just saying.
Absolutely is right now. She has not stopped that drama because they are both benefiting. And everybody.
How are they benefiting? How do you know?
If they start to turn on each other within that family, there's going to be a lot of things exposed.
What things? Are you privy to things that are going to be exposed in that family? Holy cow, man. Click bait.
the whole situation between Miss Letitia and Mrs. Wynette is Miss Letitia and Miss Wynette do not get along. They never have.
How do you know this? How do you know they don't get along? What? I don't understand.
Money got involved. They're both getting mad because both are profiting. Miss Wynette is the stepmother of Marvon, who is married to Marvon Sr. Marvon Sr. is currently in a treatment program.
Wow, dude, really? That is so cringy. You're going to bring that up? More power to you, Marvon Sr., for getting help when you need it. I was married to somebody who needed treatment and refused, even when every single organ in their body was failing. So to even, oh God, that's disgusting. That's so disgusting.
Had to get a pass to go to Yuma, Arizona to visit Marvon Jr. in the hospital, was able to do so, but according to his court ordered sentence, he has to be in this facility. He is not able to just get on a plane and
Not only was he in treatment, but it was court ordered. Lovely. Just lovely.
fly to see Marvon like is being assumed and donated for. They are still putting up the cash app for this family, knowing that he is in a facility and it is not as it seems.
Okay, so he's in a facility. It's court ordered. Pardon me. He's probably unable to work, right? If you're in a court ordered facility, wouldn't he probably need that money and those donations? I mean, I'm just saying, because, in the United States, we don't have much mental health for people anyway. I mean, our healthcare system sucks. If you're a black or a brown person, it's exponentially worse for you. And you're going to begrudge this family money being raised for them on their behalf. So maybe they could pay their electric bill, have some food in the house, gas money for the family to go back and forth and see him, get out to see their child, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Bad form, Becky.
Numerous missed phone calls when they were supposed to appear on different streams have happened, and it's been pushed off that he was at work or other excuses which they know are not true, but they're passing off to their followers as such. Also,
What if they decided they didn't want to come on there because of all the arguing and fighting that you talked about before? What if they just wanted to be nice and ignore them? Please don't tell me that there's people in your life that you didn't want to talk to you and you just ignored phone calls and dates that you were supposed to go on, because that's human nature. And maybe they didn't want to sell him out that he was in rehab like you just did. And so they made up those excuses for why he couldn't be on there, because he couldn't get to a phone for whatever reason while he was in rehab that you should have never brought up, because again, this is none of your business.
Mr. Jackson himself, Marvon Sr., Wynette's husband, stated himself on a stream that they stayed at the Fisher house when in Yuma, Arizona. Miss Wynette says that they had to empty their entire savings and it cost them over, I don't know what her amount was, but it was a lot. Thousands of dollars to go visit Marvon in Arizona. Okay. It also keeps getting put off that maybe their phone is out of minutes and we need to pay for their cell phone.
So wait a minute. Later, I know you posted exact amounts of money that were raised for them, but you didn't know how much money she spent out of her own private money. And again, then why wouldn't we need to raise money for these people to help her recoup some of that stuff? I don't see why it's such a bad thing. And if you didn't want to donate, nobody held a weapon to your head and said, "Oh, you better donate money to this family." You could have ignored it. I didn't donate to anybody. Because it was a cluster F, and I didn't want to be, I didn't want to get caught up in all of that stuff because I didn't know what the heck was going on. I'm not donating to them.
Bill, so people start donating for that too. Watch the comments on these streams. It's sickening.
Let's see what's so sickening. Oh gosh, I hope this is true. We stand behind you. Prayers to the whole family. I'm sorry if I'm repeating any questions that have already been asked. Has Raza been moved away at this time? Are there any plans to move on soon? Keeping you in my prayers.
In messages to
Thank you for the info. I pray everything works out in the best interest of Vaughn and all the children. Such a sad story all around. I'm praying for you all, but has anyone heard from Andrea? Is she still visiting Vaughn? Just stick together during this difficult time. God bless you all. Why is that disgusting? Why are those disgusting comments? Those seem like very nice comments of support, but what are you doing? Spinning some crazy narrative?
others involved in this situation, Letitia herself has admitted that Marvon Sr. was never involved in Marvon Jr.'s life. They had no relationship.
They were children, children with children. Stop giving them crap. Giving up your child for adoption is when you know that you are not a person who can take care of those children, which you should well know, Becky, is a really brave, loving thing to do. And she should not be shamed, and neither should Marvon Sr., because that's difficult and brave and kind and loving to do the right thing for your child when you know you're not in a position to do that.
Marvon Sr. has stated that they talked all the time, so on and so forth. Marvon Sr. absolutely is the biologic father of Marvon Jr. Again, I think it was great that he got to see Marvon. However, the relationship and things are being put out are not true.
But you don't really know that because you never spoke to Marvon, right? Or did you? Because from what I understand, he was trying to restore his relationship with his family. And I have the same sources as you do, which are not sources of the family. They're sources from people on YouTube. You don't know. You don't know what was happening behind the scenes. You don't know if he wasn't telling Dre that he was having conversation with his parents. So to say that it wasn't true is conjecture and crappy.
It is not true. That's been verified by family members. Rochelle herself has made statements in regards to this in different threads and areas. It's not as it seems. Miss
And you don't know if the family members are not telling the truth either, now do you?
Letitia herself was
Unless you heard it out of Marvon's mouth, I wouldn't believe crap about what the relationship was with the family because you don't know. If you ask my family what kind of relationship I had with them, they would tell you that we've been estranged forever and we've only been estranged for a few years. And if you would have asked me 25 years ago what my relationship with my family was, I would say it was a loving, kind relationship. And it wasn't. It wasn't anything but that. Everybody's perception in their own relationships are different than what other people think. So I thought my relationships were great with my family. They didn't think they were so great. So you don't know. You don't have any idea because you couldn't ask him.
very limited in her involvement with Marvon Jr. Marvon Jr. even made a trip to Georgia in 2019, which he did not contact any of his family besides a sibling or two siblings, which was, I think, his brothers. His mother and sister didn't even know he was in Georgia at the time. That is how estranged the relationship was. Were they working on the relationship? Absolutely. Did Marvon want to have his family in his life? Absolutely. But that does not mean that this all was this wonderful, great thing.
What family has wonderful, great things? And especially when there is estrangement at some time, and especially when you're an adult child trying to rekindle a relationship with your biological parents, I would imagine it's a hard dynamic to switch in your head. You know, even though the person might not have raised you, it's probably a hard dynamic to switch to make you. How do I just, am I a peer to this person? How do I treat them as a family member? Do I treat them as a family member? What am I trying to do? You're trying to reestablish a relationship with somebody you haven't really had contact with in many years, I'm guessing, because I don't know, but it probably wouldn't be easy. It'd be like finding a sibling that you didn't know you had, and now you're both 60 and 62, and you're supposed to be brother and sister, or brothers or whatever with each other. The relationship would be different than as if you've been with them your entire life.
To begin with, and that they've always fought for him, because that's just not, unfortunately, the truth.
They fought the hardest when they knew that they couldn't handle taking care of a child and put him up for adoption, and they should be applauded for that, and not made to look like they're terrible people because they decided to give up their child for adoption when they knew they couldn't take care of them. Bad form.
If we want to get down and talk about justice for Marvon, then we need to tell Marvon's story. Marvon was given
And you have never told Marvon's story, unless you're going to do it right now, and I'm dying to hear this.
up for adoption to his great grandmother. However, the situation played out there, it might have been the best decision for all involved. I am not judging that situation or that decision, as I have no idea. Now, I know that Marvon had a very problematic upbringing because of family members and situations that were going on in his childhood. Again, not throwing shade at the past, but the past unfortunately does affect the current situation. That being, they would never potentially get custody of Raza.
What do you know about the bad situation he had growing up? You just say that and then you go off on a whole nother tangent. There are no receipts, there's no context to it. I mean, ugh, woman.
But they unfortunately also have no say in what happens to Marvon because there is legal documents in.
Dude, you don't have say over Marvon because they don't have say over Marvon because they're not married to him and he's an adult. So his wife gets say over that. That's how it is. Unless you draw up legal papers that says otherwise, that's who makes the decisions for you. That's your next of kin. Even if they had never given him up for adoption, if they had had the Brady Bunch life, he lived there and then went to the military and then married Dre, and they would not have any say so over what he does, i.e. Terry Schiavo. Go look that up and then tell me how that works for you.
Involved. It's getting put off that because people are asking for transparency of funds and other things such as his condition and why it's being put out to the public by the family that there is potential for him to recover when there is no such thing according to multiple physicians in the latest.
Did you talk to those multiple physicians? It's all about the money. You just keep going back to that, the cash. You didn't like that those people got money. You still don't like it. Maybe it'll be a little better now since you're getting money, but that really torqued you.
Factual update. Why is it being played off to the public in this manner? And still, there is absolutely no update on anything legally in the benefit of Marvon or to benefit his well being. Tell me in the comments what you think justice for Vaughn looks like and would be. What would justice for Marvon actually be and look like? Because currently, all that's happening is thousands of dollars are being shuffled around by YouTubers and a family, and there's still a man in a hospital bed with a very bleak future. And all there is people outpouring love and support for him and justice for. Please bear with me.
What justice for Vaughn looks like is people not grifting and saying they're not grifting. You want to be a person that makes money off of this kind of stuff, then just talk about it, tell your story. Tell the story about how Katie Joy and Molly got into a big pissing match over who should be the person that gets the ultimate scoop of the story. And then the one that lost it got mad and went away pissy. There's so many other things she could have done. But again, I'm just going to say That was smart, Becky. That was a smart thing you did. Hiding who you were and changing your voice, because that right there, that drove people to your channel because people were interested in who that person was, that person that was hiding behind the mask and pretending to be this concerned person, when in my opinion you did that just to drive traffic. And everything that this last video was clickbait. That's all it was to get people to continue to look at it. Because if you had all the receipts of people's comments that were, where's the money, where's the transparency, whatever, in that thread, and you may have them, I don't know, because I've never seen them and you didn't show them there. I would have shown them there. I would have said, what's up, here's the transparency. I'm showing you where people are mad, they ask for their money back. I mean, so far I heard that Katie Joy asked for her money back, because I heard her say that on her own dang channel. And I heard some other girl, I think her name was supposedly Danielle, but that was maybe a sock or the other way around. And I don't know that she ever even got her money back. And I still think, no, she shouldn't have got it back. And you donate money, you donate money. If they don't use it for the right thing, then you don't donate money again. You're careful about what you do. I hate GoFundMe. They take part of the money, and I think that's wrong. If I was going to donate to somebody, I damn sure would have given it to a Cash App and not to some site that takes a portion of the funds from them. And if I give you money so that you can go do what you need to go do, if it's to see somebody in a hospital bed, if it's because your septic tank fails, or if it's whatever it is, if money that you have is going to be sucked out to do one thing where it normally would have been something to pay bills or do something else, and you go pay bills with some of that money, but pay the other thing with the money you already had, or whatever it is to make you whole, I'm not going to ask to see it. And if something comes out that you've done something you shouldn't have with the money, and what is that? I don't even know. Do I care that she might have went out and had a steak? No, don't care. She probably needed it, probably needed a mani-pedi, probably needed a massage. I mean, God forbid that any of us have to live that crap that Letitia is going through, and Marvon Sr. And if there's any of the grandparents still around that helped raise him, God forbid that they have to see their child that way and wonder why their child may or may not have done whatever it was that he is suspected of doing to get him in that situation. My heart breaks for them and this stuff that they're going through because of what happened with him. And my heart broke when I watched them wanting to see their son, and Dre got in the way of that. I was completely confused at how Andrea went into that hospital live herself, showing her completely made up with wig, nice outfit, makeup, and then asked her people in her chat to take a screenshot of her standing in front of her husband's bed all dressed up to get her in her outfit. That was some, in my opinion, Susan Smith stuff right there. Strange ass stuff. Don't hear anybody talking crap about that. Everybody's grief is different, but I can tell you something. When my mother fell, and I had to go to the hospital for her when she broke her hip, I was not thinking about putting makeup on and then standing in front of my mother in her bed while she was on life support and have people take pictures of me. That's not something that I would do. And there's so many things that you could look at in this case that are strange, But the thing that we're going to focus on is this grief-struck family that struggles to try to get to see their child. And we're going to question, what did they do with the money, which is none of our business, to question whether or not they saw an attorney, make phone calls to said attorney, make phone calls to hospitals and doctors and to other grieving family members to get information to try to discredit other YouTube creators. It's terrible. And I really think that the Nonsense Channel and the people that are involved with it should be ashamed of what they did. That's all I got to say today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button and Come back Friday when we do happy hour. Peace out.